All right, so we're going to pick up now where we left off when we talked about the promotion mix, and as part of the marketing side of recreational sport programming. And what we're looking at here is kind of a broader and a little bit expanded version of that promotion mix, so that it kind of highlights the different elements there, and it actually adds a couple more in. So we talked about in the last video personal selling. Well, that's getting into that personal communication, the selling, how your customer service is, your training, ability to get word of mouth out there, and sometimes it's not as unbiased as what you would think. Sometimes we have those. In fact, we have one in our mix, right? Those influencers out there that help to influence people's views about something. So it's that word of mouth. Then you have the advertising and the mass media, information going out on mass media, and just all the different ways that we can go about doing that, whether it's broadcast, print, internet, billboards, telemarketing, whatever, direct mailing, direct emailing, all that stuff is advertising, right? And then you have your sales promotion, where you give them samples or coupons to kind of give them a little extra nudge to participate. Publicity is that unbiased realm where you're using the media to do so, the press, and so you do press releases or press conferences, public service announcements, special events, sponsorships can all help with publicity because they're providing that information through an outside source. Instructional materials, websites, manuals, brochures kind of help to give that extra, less invasive way to get information out to the people. And then also the corporate design and giving people an idea about the way that your organization does business based upon the way that you sign and the way that you have your interior set up and your buildings and the way the buildings look and the vehicles that you use and what type of vehicle you're using and what kind of print do you have on your vehicles, the equipment that you have, the stationery, uniforms, all that kind of comes back to, and it's very conscious as far as how corporations set themselves up. Okay, so good look at the expanded promotion mix, giving you a broad perspective and looking at the different elements that fall into each of those categories. Okay, but the idea is, how can we get information out to the audience that's going to be interested in participating in our type of event? And this is the ways that you can do so. Okay. Oops. Come on now. There we go. Yep. There we go. All right, so sponsorships. So looking at sponsorships, and again, remember, sponsorships are basically a vehicle that a corporation or company can use to communicate their efforts back out to the community. Okay, so they can use their sponsorships as a means of showing goodwill to the community and showing the good things that they can do for the community, and supporting events and sports are a good way to do that. Sponsorship equals exchange relationship. Just like we said, marketing is an exchange relationship between the consumer and your organization. Same thing happens between a sponsor and your organization in that event that you're running. There is a give and take, right? We're going to provide and help you meet a need as a corporation or as an organization, and you're going to help us meet our needs in our goals or objectives set up for each of our events by helping in it. So there's that exchange that takes place. Think about this. Advertising means at a distance. You have no interaction with your consumer other than a billboard, other than email that you send out, other than a flyer that you put out. So it's very impersonal. Sponsorship means you're on site. And so looking at this picture, this was a road race. New Balance, on site, catch the runners before they run, after they run, have the shoes for them to try out or to look at, and they can personal sell right there on the spot. So that sponsorship, while they might give some resources, they're also being able to be there at the event and use that as a means to reach the audience that they want to reach. Okay, so it can be a lot more effective than advertising. Advertising at a distance, impersonal, informal. Sponsorship, much more on site. Okay, much more, can be much more effective. Leveraged and activated sponsorship means up close, impersonal. Interactive. It's grassroots. You get to meet and talk to your consumer. Okay, and so you get that grassroots marketing to the audience that you want. I, as the event director, get you as a sponsor with those, whatever you're giving us in kind, maybe money for having that booth at the spot, naming rights, whatever the case may be, and you're getting that grassroots. You're able to catch up with the audience that you really want to catch. Benefits, the benefits that come out of it can be served both ways. So a lot of times we get financial benefits from it. We get maybe financial resources donated to our event, or we get other support where now we don't have to buy items because agency is providing those to us, and that takes away something from our budget. Okay, so we get that financial. We get media coverage. If we can get the media to sponsor our event, well, then we get free media coverage. We get that publicity that we seek out to help our event. And then again, a lot of times that brings about more of that respectability of our events. In-kind, there's 4 main in-kind donations that you'll come across. It might be product support, where they're giving us products. It might be personal support or personnel support, where I've had agencies send volunteers. A lot of agencies have to have so many volunteer hours within their agency. And so they'll support events by sending volunteers out to help events. We've had it happen with Hollow Screen. We've had it happen with some of the races that we've done. And it's just a great way to get personnel support. You can do more things with the more people that you have. Communication resources and expertise to increase awareness and interest. Sometimes we can get those technology companies to support us, then we get those technology benefits that go along with it, and some of the communication resources that go along with it. You'll see sometimes, iPads, an iPad, or not iPad, it's, that supports the NFL, and all the NFL teams use them on the sidelines, and I can't remember, it's kind of not the iPad version, but can't think of what it is. But it's, again, they're using that technology, they're getting that support to help run those systems, and NFL doesn't have to pay for them. Institutional clout, you get the benefit of being affiliated with that sponsoring agency, and usually if it's a business of high reputation, that's going to, again, bring about more credibility to your event, to your organization as well, because you get to tie yourself into that organization. Now, sometimes you're going to find agencies that don't necessarily have the best reputation, but they're trying to improve their reputation by working with you and to try to support you in your events. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to be tied in and be associated with that agency if they may not have the best reputation? Value added. One of the nice things that agency or sponsors can do is add value to your event. And a lot of times, if you've ever done a road race, one of the things that you a lot of times get is a goodie bag, I always call them, and those goodie bags have items that add value to it. So I'm paying $70 to do the race. I'm running the race, but then it's always nice to have something else to go along with it. So what's added value? Now added value might be coupons to go to different sites, or different getting a t-shirt and a sponsoring agency giving you a t-shirt, or getting a trial of some type of food that's going towards that particular audience. I remember ran my first marathon in Dallas, finished it up, and one of the added values was a free or a Gatorade bar And most of you know there's no such thing as Gatorade bars now. And I'll tell you what, I've never felt so sick after taking a few bites of that Gatorade bar and running that race. But they were trying it out, testing it out to the market, that, you know, basically a protein bar, and to give that added value. So what be always thinking, sometimes agencies might not be able to give you a lot of money or other support, but they can add value into your event and give you some, you know, some assistance. Sometimes you'll see, again, using races, agencies will come out and volunteer, masseuses will come out and volunteer their time and give massages, but they'll promote themselves. That's an added value. It's not costing you anything. It's not costing the participant anything. They're getting an added value of getting massage after the race, and the agency that's doing the massaging is getting their name out there. Okay, so it's value added. So choosing opportunities, the agencies are going to have an opportunity they're going to be looking for certain things. Okay, so it's always helpful for us to know. So sponsorship property has a positive image. So whoever we're working with, you know, they want us to have a positive image. The business name can be linked with sponsorship property, so that positive image, now the business can be associated with it. Sponsorship opportunity will receive local and regional exposure, so not just local exposure, but they would like regional exposure. The more exposure, the better, right? Sponsor opportunity is presented with ample lead time, so you give them plenty of time to lead up to it so that you can promote that sponsorship. You can get that association with that agency for a longer period of time. That's something they're going to want. They want something that they can personally stand behind and support when they're looking at something they believe in. And so a lot of agencies, you'll find out that they have their pet projects that they believe in. And so they want to be associated with those type of pet projects. Okay, so it's helpful and more likely that you'll get it if you understand what they like and what they support. Staff has a high level of professionalism and experience. Opportunities to be involved in different levels. So they can be, and we'll talk about different levels, whether it's the title sponsor or working its way down to some of the smaller opportunities. Sponsorship proposal is organized, so you should have a proposal that you'll give to them so they can see what they can get for their assistance. Okay. And sponsorship opportunity provides an alignment with product and positioning. It's going to go help them meet a certain niche within the community that they want to get into and get their product out or their service. Okay. And these are those levels of sponsorships that I just mentioned. Are they going to be a title sponsor where it might be Target Flag Football Championships? Sponsor's name is integrated into the event title. It's the highest form of association. It's going to cost the most money to do that. Okay. The presenting sponsors is that next tier. So it's the Target Flag Football Championship presented by Nestle Crunch. Okay. Rights to associate with an event within the product category. Okay. Then you have official sponsors, and again, smaller companies taking less financial risk to assist that, and then maybe official suppliers, not directly linked to the event, but offer goods or services that help the event. So they might provide in-kind donations like food and beverage or equipment or supplies to help you run your event. And so you recognize them for their assistance, give them the title of official suppliers of the event. Okay. So you have those different tiers that you can work off of, and those different tiers get more recognition for the event, and their names out there a lot more. But they're all helping you with your event to make sure that you have all the supplies and resources that you need to do so. And I'm going to stop